Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, we are going to be building a studio apartment. Basically, what I was thinking of when I did this challenge was I wanted to try building a 5x5 livable space in The Sims. This was very much inspired by how studio apartments are in big cities. They are tiny, and I'm talking tiny. So I've been inspired in this by, for example, New York apartments, or for here in Canada, something more like a Toronto apartment. What's interesting about them is that with everything that's been going on lately, they've been getting cheaper and cheaper because no one really wants to live in this small of a space during the times that we're living in right now. So I was wondering, what would this small of a space actually look like if two people were living here? So this house is actually completely functional. There's a TV, there's going to be a computer, there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom. It's been completely player tested, so you can actually use the house without any issues. And bonus, if you get just a studio apartment, it is actually going to be considered a starter home. I think it was somewhere around 15 or 16,000 simoleons. If you get the cheapest lot, it could be somewhere around between like 1,500 or maybe 2,000 simoleons extra, but you are still way below the 20,000 that you get when you start out. Now, with the layout, I struggled quite a lot, as you can probably see. It was very much a challenge to try to get everything in an area where it would make sense and it would function. It was really messy. So I did a bit of a time skip where I actually player tested everything, and shout out to my player testing sim, Miles Duke. Every house that I've play tested, I've actually play tested with that one sim. And it's kind of torture since the needs are always super low, but it's a sim that I don't actually play with. I just always play test the house with that one sim for some reason. You can see here that I was evidently trying to avoid putting colors anywhere, since I was very much doubting like what color scheme I wanted to go for. I didn't want to just make everything white though. I did want to have some color, especially since it's such a small space. I was doubting like where to put color and how to put the color without it feeling super dark and closed in. Now you can also see that I only put windows in two of the walls. I feel like that would be very common in a studio apartment. Sometimes it might even have just the one. But since I didn't want to just leave it at, oh, there's a couple windows and here's a very small space, I'm actually going to do something pretty exciting, or at least that I found really exciting and really fun. So instead of just having the one unit, I decided to build my own version of apartment. There are apartments available that you can actually rent out if you have city living, which evidently I do not. Speaking of which I'm going to go completely sidetracked here, have you guys seen the trailer for the new expansion pack called Snowy Escape? I was so excited when I saw that because they are finally adding some Japanese items, and I've been wanting to do a Japanese inspired house for so long, but I don't know if I will actually take the expansion pack or not. I really like the challenge of building base game and like what you can do with base game alone, but even then I was like, wow, they finally have this. I really want to try it out. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I'll actually do it or not. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, going back to the apartment, I built basically a 4-story apartment. It won't function like an actual apartment. It'll just function like it's a really tall house, basically. It's gonna be 4 stories since that is the limit that you have in Sims. But imagine, for example, where the staircase is if there was an elevator, for example. So it's basically 2 studio apartments per level. So you could have 8 Sims in here, each in their own studio apartment, and try playing out that way with apartments, even though I'm not too sure how that would work out. Or you could just leave the shell, which is how I had it in this case, and use it as if you only had access to the top apartment, for example. So the reason why I left it at just the one shell instead of decorating every single unit was mainly because I felt that it was going to be very overbearing on the system. Long story short, I didn't think that it was necessary to actually decorate each and every unit. If anyone is interested in that, it's more than okay to try to get more units in there. It's going to be completely functional. So after the building was set up, I was debating what to do with the outside, and what I thought was to make a parking lot. a lot of big city apartments actually end up having underground if they have any parking at all, or maybe in some place that's so small and looks a bit older that they maybe kind of renovated, it would likely be street parking. That's not really something we can do in The Sims though, so I thought, why don't we make it like the parking lot is behind the building and then gate everything off and everything. I spent quite a while looking through debug and just trying to see what I wanted to put and where. But I had so much fun building this house, and I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever built an apartment itself in Sims. I've always built maybe like, here's what the layout of this apartment is like, but I've never built the actual building and decorated from the outside and everything. There is admittedly probably more green areas here than there would be normally. I don't think many buildings would have trees at the front like that, for example. At least not buildings that look as old as this one might be. And in the back, I decided, since there was a bit of a gap there as well, I've been really obsessed in making dumpsters. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and I even made a dumpster in my game there, for example. It's very entertaining to try to see how you can take these items that they mean for you to use in basically any other way and make it into a dumpster. But I feel like the dumpster I made on this one is actually pretty bang on. It's somewhere that people probably wouldn't want to go to put their trash away, but that's what dumpsters are like, honestly. So we are actually getting close to the end of it. As you can see, actually, as I was building this as well, I was very annoyed on where the fencing snaps on. I could have fixed it, but it's debug item, so it won't really matter regardless. Sims will just walk through it. But with the fencing, I was kind of annoyed that there was a bit of grass in the middle, and I wasn't sure if there should be a point where it's all concrete or there would be grass in the middle. I wasn't too sure what to do about that area there. Anyways, guys, we're getting close to the end of the video, and I just want to say I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm probably going to try to build an apartment again another time. I particularly like the size of this one since it didn't seem overly huge, like some apartments might seem. And it's all playable area. You can actually walk all around it. You can explore the different units. There are doors, even though they're fake. But it was so much fun, guys. I really recommend that you try something different in any game that you're playing. This isn't the way that Sims is intended to be played. But if you ask me, I don't think there's any correct way to play Sims. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think, letting me know what you'd like me to build next. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. See you the next time around.